Hello there, and welcome to the program that takes you on a ride in 25 minutes to seek out innovation and creativity that are unique to Africa. On this week's edition, it's all about data privacy. The Data and Knowledge Information Privacy Protection Initiative, at its 9th Data Privacy Lecture, advocates for the shaping of tomorrow's privacy landscape. Also, watch out for my conversation with the National Commissioner of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, on data privacy and protection in Nigeria. We have more for you coming up on the program. This is Tech Trends, and I am Olayemi Utunuga.
Like all technologies before it, artificial intelligence will reflect the values of its creators. So inclusivity matters, from who designs it to who sits on the company board and which ethical perspectives are included.
Data privacy is a fundamental human right that affects every citizen, and so safeguarding it from theft and abuse is everyone's responsibility. And that's what the Data and Knowledge Information Privacy Protection Initiative is advocating. At its 9th Data Privacy Lecture, they focus on the theme, Shaping Tomorrow's Privacy Landscape.
Those are prayers, so it will be.
With the increase in digitization of our lives, concerns about the security of personal information have taken center stage. And in a bid to shed light on the matter, the Data and Knowledge Information Privacy Protection Initiative hosts a summit to not only address pressing issues around data security, but to also share best practices to mitigate risks.
As we navigate a world increasingly intertwined with technology, our personal information is a valuable commodity. From online transactions to social media interaction, our digital footprint is vast and potentially vulnerable. This day prompts us to discuss and assess our privacy settings, stay informed about data breaches, and demand responsible data practices from the entities that handle our information. It's not just about protecting ourselves, but also about fostering a collective commitment to respecting privacy rights globally. Let us use this occasion to advocate for robust data protection laws, educate ourselves and others about online privacy, and champion a digital landscape that prioritizes security and trust. In essence, World Data Privacy Day is a call to action, a call to cultivate a culture where privacy is not just a right but shared responsibility. As we commemorate this day, let's strive for a future where our digital lives are secure, our personal data is respected, and our online experiences are characterized by trust and integrity.
Speaking virtually at the event, the National Commissioner of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, shares how far Nigeria has come in the data protection journey.
It's all to raise awareness about data privacy and protection and to encourage citizens to know their rights and data controllers and data subjects to do their obligations to data subjects. In Nigeria, we joined effectively in 2019 with the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation was issued in 2019, and during the course of the regulation, we gained a lot of tractions leading to the establishment of the Bureau, and for us to have a principal law on data privacy and protection in Nigeria, and to say that we now have a commission that can compare to anyone in any part of the globe. And that our strategies have always been in working with stakeholders, creating awareness, building capacity, and so many other things. So what we are doing here today is very, very good. More important with the theme, shaping tomorrow's privacy landscape. How do we really shape tomorrow's landscape in the area of data privacy in Nigeria? We have already started the journey in Nigeria with the law that we have. And the model, which is very unique to us, of enforcing the law, of implementing whatever policies that we have to drive this ecosystem. Now we have the law, we have the commission. The job ahead, the money to the commission, we cannot do it alone. We need to work with stakeholders to ensure that we achieve a robust data protection ecosystem in Nigeria.
With the ever-growing volumes of personal information individuals entrust with various entities, including social media platforms and financial institutions, one key aspect of data privacy is protection and ensuring that information remains confidential and not misused. The guest speaker at the event emphasizes the rights individuals have as data subjects.
As a data subject, you have a right to access your information. You have a right to rectification. You have a right to object to the processing of your data. You have a right to restrict the way it's being processed. You have a right to data portability. You also have a right for it to be forgotten and deleted from their system. And that's why we are here. Number one, to create awareness, to let you know you have a right to the privacy of your data. Number two, to also let you know that these people who have your data, they are under control and that there are consequences for their actions and that there's a legal framework that has been put together to be able to hold them accountable, whereby we can enforce certain laws controlling their actions. One of the things that we should drive towards as a nation going forward is to ensure data harmonization. And data harmonization will ensure it creates the opportunity for us to be able to have one database.
Other speakers also lent their voices to the subject matter, emphasizing education, awareness, and guidance.
These are part of the things that we need to teach our children. We need to let them know the information they can release and the kind of information they shouldn't release. As part of what we can do to shape the future of privacy is ensuring that the curriculum of schools involve the data privacy or data protection program, courses, subjects that will make these children to have the understanding of what is going on.
The first line of defense for data protection is you, the subject. You're the first line of defense. Anybody else has any nefarious intent to use your data for whatever purpose, but you are the first line of defense. And like the speaker said earlier, you must know your rights you have as a data subject. But I will say this as well. You know, when regulation comes into a new, because this data regulation is fairly new, we have to work together with the regulators so that we can all improve our data privacy posture. In the European Union, when the GDPR was released, what did the ECB do? ECB is the European Central Bank. What they did was they worked with the regulator to guide the banks over a period of 24 months to allow them mature. Because once you put a law out there, it's not immediate that you begin to transform. You need a period where you can implement the key directives of that law so that everybody will be better. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think, this is my own view, what the regulator is doing now, and I think should just do more.
As our society continues to navigate the digital landscape, events like this play a crucial role in shaping the future of data privacy and ensuring that individuals and organizations are well equipped to face the challenges ahead. Since its inception, DKIPPI has been an advocate of data privacy and protection, providing innovative and creative strategies to strengthen the capacity of individuals and organizations on the national level.
Must have taken some time, huh?
Yes.
At the Moore High School, Kabarak in Nakuru County, 15-year-old Jim Kim Mwendwa is working diligently in the school laboratory on a model of his groundbreaking invention, an infinity reactor that he believes could potentially provide a sustainable and infinite source of energy for his country. The aspiring inventor provides insights into the workings of his creation.
This is a demonstration of what I've done. It's basically a motor and a dynamo. And according to what is supposed to happen is that the motor is supposed to actually have a higher input than the dynamo. So what I've done is that I've increased the output of the dynamo with little input of voltage inside the motor.
Deputy Principal of Moa High School, Kabarak, Richard Kimutai Rono, expresses astonishment at Jim Kim's ambitious project.
He is to come up with an infinity reactor. And according to him, this is a reactor that can be able to generate energy, that can power the world for infinity. In fact, we are really surprised by that. And his dream is to make this a reality. It is still at a pioneering stage where he's developing it, he's modeling it, and he's looking forward to making it a reality.
The teenager aims to address the prevalent issue of frequent blackouts in Kenya through his innovative approach to generating cheap and efficient electricity. Despite the need for a primary source of electricity to initiate the system, Jim Kim outlines a self-sustaining cycle once operational.
First, there is input of power from another source of power. When there's input of power, the rotation of the motor causes generation of electricity due to the circumferences changing, the magnetic fields. And so there's a larger percentage of it being exerted out and a smaller percentage of it being used inside the infinite reactor to rotate the dynamo and also to cool the engine.
Must have taken some time, huh?
Yes.
Jim Kim Mwendwa claims that his innovative solution has the potential to address power challenges in developing countries, offering a glimmer of hope for sustainable.
Zohair Al-Riyahi is a blind electric repairman from Bul Arada in the Siliana Governorate. He gained popularity among Tunisian locals after a story was published on social media. It was posted online showing his work repairing electrical appliances, including computers and audio speakers. The craftsman masterly handles electronic appliances in his workshop by relying on his sense of touch, recognizing every piece with his hands. The craftsman speaks about the main challenges he encounters in his career, which have more to do with psychology than his repair skills.
The difficulties I face are to convince people and customers. Some customers bring me malfunctioned electric devices to repair them. But when they discover that I am blind, they change the shop in the belief that my capabilities are limited and I'm unable to repair them.
Zohair Al-Riyahi himself admits that not all customers are happy to be helped by a blind worker.
The customers have reduced my value and professional experience, and this is what affected my psyche and increased my determination to continue working and developing in this field. Some encourage me to continue and respect the opinions of all customers, and I will not be defeated by their negative reading towards me. Today, electronic devices have developed in the world. For example, TVs previously were a large screen, but they have become smart screens. I study and read books of electric specialization through the internet while listening to videos explaining the maintenance process of modern electronic devices. That's added a lot to my life and allowed me to develop and pursue my dreams.
He encourages other people living with disability.
I address my voice to the people with disabilities in the world. There are difficulties. There are also solutions. The difficulties are that I am blind, and solutions are possible in repairing and knowing the components of electric devices. I can also make new devices, helping me to gain confidence and challenge difficulties.
Zohair Al-Riyahi reportedly fell in love with radio devices after he turned blind and started growing fond of radio programs and music. Now his story of overcoming the odds has moved internet users.
Every day, massive amounts of data are stored in every sector, making data more and more a valuable possession. And as established by data and cybersecurity experts, things move quickly in that landscape. For example, data breaches which is why governments are now focusing on securing the data of individuals by creating more laws. The Nigeria Data Protection Commission is the office responsible for the regulation of data privacy in Nigeria, and I'll be engaging in a conversation with the National Commissioner, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, on data privacy and protection in Nigeria and the strides we have made as a country. Now, Dr. Olatunji, my first question is, can data truly be anonymized?
Absolutely. It's one of the ways of securing the data of data subjects, database of data controllers and data processors. Yes, it's one of the ways of doing that. When we are saying data controllers and data processors should put in place technical and organizational measures to prevent unauthorized access and usage of data subject. Yes, it's one of such technical measures that you can put in place to ensure that the data you are using is anonymized and is saved under the law. For instance, if you are moving data from one data controller or data processor to the other, in the process of moving such data, if it is not anonymized, anybody can have access to it and use it. But if you anonymize it, it can be used by anybody who doesn't have the code to de-anonymize it. So it is absolutely necessary.
Where is data privacy, at a federal level in 2024?
I would say we've made considerable progress between where we started and now. For instance, when we started, we didn't have a law. We were just using a regulation. We didn't have a full-fledged commission. We started as a small unit under NIDA. Gradually, we had a bureau. We are using a regulation. Now we have a law passed by the United Assembly and accepted by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, on the 12th of June 2023. And in addition to that, we have an independent data protection commission. So all these, they are like showing that, yes, Nigeria is ready to do digital business, more importantly with the level of growth and development in our digital economy in the country. So in terms of awareness creation, that is for data subjects to know their rights when their data is being collected, in terms of data controllers and processors to know the obligations, the duty of care that they owe as a data subject, we've really done very well. We've really encouraged a lot of people. We've created awareness in that area. Then, the area of capacity building, the level of professionalism in the data project ecosystem where we started has really changed. It was very low when we started, but now it has increased. Even at the level of audit filing, because what the law says that all of these data controllers and processors of major importance should file the annual report with the Commission. When we started the first year, we had about 632 audit filing. The following year, we had 1,230. The next year, the last year, it was 1,777. So you could see traction in what we are doing. Also, in terms of international reputation, international recognition, we are now a proud member of the International Network of African Data Protection Authorities. In addition to that, we have also been accepted to the Global Privacy Assembly, made up of about 130 countries. And before you could be admitted to be a member of this assembly, you must have your data protection law, you must have an independent data protection commission. So these are some things that we have in Nigeria that, to a large extent, we'll say we've seen some changes.
Data, of course, is a valuable possession, which, so many organizations are trying their best to secure as much as possible. But are there consequences of breaking privacy laws?
Huge. Well, we have a law now that has stipulated the penalties, which can range from as low as 10 million and up to 2% of the gross earning of such company where the data breach occurred. It has even stipulated jail terms for CEOs of organizations. So it's a very serious thing because the impact is huge on the data subject and on the country. For instance, a data breach can lead to financial loss on the part of data subject. It can even lead to loss of body parts. It can lead to denial of access to many services. It can even lead to death in some extreme cases. So, and the reputation of the country too is at stake. If it is known that those in charge of data collection and process in your country, if it's obvious that the data that will be collected is not secured and there is no, there will be no recourse for any data breach or data loss. Yes, a lot of countries, a lot of international communities, companies, organizations outside the country are not willing to do business with you. So it has very serious implications. So that is why the penalties too are huge. But in issuing the penalties, it depends on the number of data subjects affected, the impact on data subject, if it's severe or minor or medium, then that will determine the kind of penalty that will be issued to the data processor or controller. So it is really huge on the part of the organizations who are collecting and controlling data in Nigeria.
Now, privacy by design, that's an approach to security organizations are advised to incorporate. And if I recall clearly, during the NDPC organized our first Code for Privacy hackathon with the theme Privacy First Solutions, integrating data privacy by design. Why should organizations consider this privacy by design approach?
I think it's really important for organizations. One, the fact that right from the time you are developing your solutions, your applications, right from the ideation stage, before it actually becomes a solution, you'll have incorporated that aspect of data privacy, which will have built it as part of the solution. So at the case of, you have put in place the solution, now you are looking at the area of privacy, we will have taken care of that. For instance, the hackathon that you mentioned, some of the solutions that those young developers presented to us, there are solutions that, yes, when you are developing your product or your solution, you have incorporated data privacy and you now put it to test based on the parameters that I've set out in their solutions to check if you have actually put in place privacy by design or by default. Now, we live in the world of technologies, and technologies keep changing every day, the era of emerging technologies. Some things are coming up now we never envisaged 15, 20 years ago. Now we talk of blockchain, we talk of Internet of Things, we talk of robotics, we talk of big data, data analysis, so many other things that are coming up. In artificial intelligence, which are coming up. 10, 20 years ago, nobody thought of all this. Then how do you now encourage developers in this ecosystem to incorporate area of privacy? That you may not even have to interact with anybody, where you'll be asking questions. But you can only interact with machine. All these kind of technologies, how do you now incorporate data privacy? So it's really important to ensure that the rights, the privilege, the freedoms, and interests of data subjects that will be using such solutions are adequately protected. And that's the whole essence of saying data privacy by design or by default. And it answers a lot of questions, the area of purpose limitation, the area of the kind of question you want to ask. All these things, story limitation, the kind of measures, security measures you are putting in place, all these are really, really important. And that is why we are encouraging privacy by design.
Now, Dr. Olatunji, you mentioned, artificial intelligence, which, has been described as the double-edged weapon. And, we've been seeing the integration of AI in almost every sector. But while this can be used to combat threats, it can also be, make things worse. For instance, automating cyber attacks. But for the sake of this conversation, we'll be sticking to the plus side. So how do we balance innovation and still maintain privacy standards?
Yeah, part of what we have in the law is the power for us to issue regulations. The tech ecosystem keeps changing rapidly beyond what anybody can comprehend. And if you are not careful, we're going to play catch up with technology are coming up. And if your law is rigid, that you cannot issue regulations, frameworks, guidance notes to guide whatever solutions are coming up, we're able to catch up and there'll be no law to regulate what they are doing. And that's why in our own law, we've learned from other climes with very rigid laws that it's very difficult to make regulations. In some countries, before you can even make any regulations, you need to go back to the National Assembly. But what we have in our own law, it has empowered us to issue regulations to be able to manage and regulate what is happening in the area of emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence. So we're able to do that effectively through our own law in the country. Just that, if you do one today, tomorrow another one is coming up. So you need to consistently watch out and know what is happening around you for you to be able to put in place appropriate regulations to ensure that your citizens are adequately protected. And that is why we keep telling solution developers, application developers, that the area of privacy is really key. And as we said before, privacy by design, by default, which we are encouraging them to incorporate in whatever they do. And artificial intelligence too, blockchain, all these are really important. And if you know what is happening now, that part of privacy has been taken seriously by most of the developers.
All right, Dr. Vincent Olatunji. Of course, in this digital era, we all need to be on our toes, to ensure that we are safe and secure, especially when it comes to our data and privacy. Thank you so much, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, National Commissioner, Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, for joining us on Tech Trends.
You are most welcome. Thank you.
And that's our show this week. If you missed any part of it, you can always catch up on the Channels TV YouTube account where we have all of our episodes. And I encourage you to watch, share, and like your favorite editions. Do not forget, Tech Trends is here to share insights, trends, and developments happening in the tech space, from startups to big techs, and of course, inventful thinkers. Until I come your way again next week, I'm Olayemi Odunuga. Bye for now.